There we go. Oh, wait, no, not there we go. I hate these things. You guys don't look at all my secret stuff. Okay. Okay, so you guys, I assume, are seeing, let me put you guys, I assume are seeing my notes and everything. Am I correct? Are you seeing all my notes and stuff when I share the screen, when I just shared it? Were you guys seeing the notes? Yes? Well, okay. Okay, here we go. So I just wanted to welcome everyone. And some of these notes are from my national conference. So if you see it at the bottom, if you need me to make the screen bigger, then please send me a text, you guys, because I have this. I tried to find the mouse to my desktop, and I couldn't find it, and it needed to be charged, and so I got a little bit behind. So anyway, okay. So I'm a peer specialist, and I want to thank my family and friends and all of my fellow peer specialists and all members of the national, state, and local government, with which many individuals that I have worked with for over a decade now. I also want everyone to know that the reason I teach this is because you are all needed, and I will try to show you some different types of advocacy. It's not all serious stuff. Being in front of a crowd, we have fun, and we all got to laugh at ourselves, and I do it a lot. So when we get to the golden rules of advocacy, you will probably see that there are many I need to practice, or many that actually need to be broken. Some of the golden rules, maybe they need to be broken. Advocates gone rogue do that a lot. All right, I'm going to say this. You'll meet people along the way that are true heroes. They are the ones I honor, and when I hear them speaking in like when they speak and they're shaking or they're stuttering, and they keep coming back to speak again and again and rising up and doing things afraid and showing up whenever they can, then they are totally that's totally what an advocate gone rogue is. They just keep coming back. This is my girl. With the whole rogue thing, I've always thought I was Princess Leia. So when I was little, if we were acting out Star Wars, there was like no way no one else was going to be like Princess Leia. They had to be like Darth Vader. Like my friend even wrote a book and said, and put like in the acknowledgements, like even if I had to play Darth Vader when I was little because my hair was short or something like that, and she put a dedication to me and my little friends. But I always had to be Miss Princess Leia. So yeah, I'm a big time Star Wars fan. And when I saw this, and my motto is always do it afraid, I loved it. Stay afraid, but do it anyway. What's important is the action. You don't have to wait to be confident, just do it. And eventually the confidence will follow. All right. Advocacy doesn't always mean standing up in front of the media or testifying in front of the legislature. There are many other things you can do, and that is why I added this slide about advocacy. It's finding your gifts and using them, or even doing the things you thought you would never do. And if that makes you happy, then do that. I don't judge anybody's way of advocacy, but you will never know unless you give it a shot. So it's just a matter of finding a need and then fulfilling that need. Okay, this is my kid little mom, and she's so cute. So we had a family reunion in 2017 in Tahoe. I'm originally from the Bay Area, and at this time, we had asked for donations. My sister and I, she gathered donations from a bunch of people in the Bay Area. I gathered some from people all over Utah. And we decided that our kind of advocacy thing for our family was going to be kind of like a service project. I remembered what it was like being a patient at the state hospital. And so we decided to, during Christmas, so we decided to fill 150 stockings for all 150 adult patients in the Utah State Hospital civil units, which is weird. I'm just looking at that number because in 2017, that is how many adult patients they had. Now, because of funding issues and other people taking money that they shouldn't, like crisis dollars that should not be, are not intended for research buildings and MRI Tesla machines, just saying, they're closing down units and there's not 150 adult patients down there right now. I believe they're closing Southeast or in the process. And they're in quarantine, which also makes it so much worse. And there's all this money to be had, yet they're begging the governor for money right now. So we did, this was our family. We did the stockings. You can see my nieces and nephews. Oh, and my dog right there in the middle, patrolling, making sure we get all the stockings all filled up. And this was for the Forgotten Patient program. They have it every year. And so we decided to do for the stockings, and it was so cool. Okay, your only task is yourself. Experiences the difference between dry, dead theology and anointed preaching and teaching that teaches your life, that changes your life when you hear it. Thus, the power of the pure voice and anybody's lived experience. So speaking of Brielle, Brielle is an advocate for children and those escaping and helping. She helped create the Dream Center. She bought Warren Jeff's house. I put in small letters down there underneath, 65th wife of Warren Jeffs of the FLDS prophet. And the reason why I put that there is because that is not who Brielle is. I think of Brielle is like a badass advocate. And it was like, I remember, so I'm just going to tell you this day.
Oh, thanks.
I mean, I had to literally drag her to the testimony table with the packed room with the committee. And I was going like back and forth knowing she was not going to go up there. The last thing I said to her when I saw someone at the testimony table holding up pictures of the people, and sorry, Brielle, there's nothing against you. I think you're a badass because this ends in a good way. So holding it. So there was somebody up at the testimony table holding up pictures of people caught who were like in the cult and the victims, and I should say survivors of horrific crimes. And something that Brielle did is she said to me at first, well, they're speaking for me. And I was like, no. They're holding up pictures. You are the person in that picture. So after pulling her up to the testimony table and having her speak in front of about, it was about victims.
It was about
reparations. It was like reparations. It was for victims of crime, for reparations for individuals escaping cults so that they would have access to money because they leave with like nothing, maybe just a suitcase, if that, sometimes, and no documents and stuff. So when Brielle got done giving her first testimony there, she got up, turned and walked around, and you should have seen the smile on her face. Like, it was huge. Like, and then when she walked out into the hallway, everybody wanted to talk to her. And so, like, and wanted to hear her story. And so I always thought, Brielle, rock on, good job. I'm glad you did that. She kept coming back and she did it. Okay, so what is public policy? There'll be a lot of info on these slides, so you can, I think I'm recording it. So if you don't learn this all in one day, I'm going to be doing this again. You can log in, log out, whatever. I just don't want to overwhelm everybody. So these are the 3 basic steps to advocacy. It may seem simple and straightforward, but from my experience, I can tell you each of them bring their own challenges, but they do not have to be huge challenges. If you can commit to doing all three of you decide upon your issue, and then you decide upon your number one issue. The reason these three steps are so crucial is you can easily be pulled in many different ways, as there are so many problems that need solving, and you can't solve them all. Like in number one, you have to narrow down your issue as much as you can. And my washer and dryer goes off, and it's going to keep doing this unless I don't turn it off. And so I'm just going to say that I've had many people at times, want me to be at the legislature or to help them advocate or something, go to court with them, or, and there are many crossovers with mental health. So like there's many crossovers with substance use disorder, with abuse, mental health crosses over into so many things. But I realized for me and my issue, I had to narrow it completely down to I'm an advocate for better mental health services. And I couldn't be pulled in 25 different directions, like trying to compensate for all the crossovers and the spider web of like, oh yeah, that has to do with mental health. So does that, so does that. And that's one of my main things, is just to narrow down everything you have so you don't get burnt out. What concerns you, and I don't try to teach, speak, or testify on anything that I don't know anything about. I've had a lot of people ask me, like I said, to attend court and probation hearings, or even court trying to get their children back, things about housing. I have to tell them you need to find an expert in those areas, because I had never been in jail or prison, never been in drug court, and I don't have children, and I no longer work closely with homeless youth. And so many experts are out there in those areas. My expertise is the mental health system, and it's best practice or evidence-based treatment for my peers, even in the state hospital or in the mental health court. I know peer support like the back of my hand. I can easily name statistics and most things mental health. And although I wish I could do all things people are requesting me, I used to try and do, but I spread myself too thin and always say refer out, because that's what I taught when I was teaching people in my trainings as well, is refer out, because it gets overwhelming. This is one of the things Advocates on Road did. We met with the man in the middle, that's when I had brown hair still, is Jeremy. He ran against Rosie Rivera. So we got a meeting I got a meeting at the Beans and Brew, like down the street. He showed up with his campaign manager, and he listened to every advocate story in that room. And it was super powerful. We all hoped he would win, but he didn't. But he listened to everyone's story. And this is just one of the times that AGR, Advocates Gone Rogue, is like one of the things we do. It's not just testifying. This is not recommended unless they don't call you back. That's what I always say. So this is Rosie Rivera, and she has never called an advocate back ever about CIT. So what did I do? I saw her last summer, I think, at some big event, and I had another peer take a picture of me photobomb her. So this is something that I was like totally laughing at. Who the heck knows if she even knows that I was standing there, or if she found out later, whatever. I say, who the heck knows if it's all, it's never all work and no flies. So we had fun. Here's my girl, Raina, and she literally had her foot operated on, but she was like literally mountain bike scooting all around this day, and I would chase people down for her and then she'd come scooting up with her little scooter thing, and she'd go talk to all these people about what we wanted, because nobody wanted to listen to the peers with lived experience, or anyone for that matter. So anyway, I just thought it was funny. So these are some of the areas, like you can look at, because I spoke at the national conference, I put this USA.gov for all your elected officials, like all over the United States. I'm not going to go poll. Here's the next one. Find a certified peer support specialist. These are some of the things that people can help offer. That peer support offers. I'm just given I guess like a little thumbs up for peer supporters, because I know the work you do, and I commend all of you for sticking it out with everything that goes on in this state. Next one, communicating your views, your senator and representative, committee members who will hear your issue. We have had zero luck. I'm just telling you this, but this is in 2018 at the Medical Care Advisory Council I sat on at the Utah Department of Health. These are some advocates. I just put this together. I thought it was cute. So I put like really powerful like music to that, because okay, there we go. Okay, so I put like really powerful music on that, just because these are some of the time. This Medical Care Advisor Council was actually, I kind of got a glimpse into what it was like being like on a committee up at the legislature, because these people would come and speak to us, asking us to recommend to the governor's budget that, for this day, we were asking for more Medicaid dollars for the reimbursement rate for peer support. And that's why these individuals were there this day, saying, can you ask for more money? So anyway, oh, you couldn't hear me. Okay. I don't know what's wrong with these. Okay. So everyone just be objective, be prepared. And if you don't know the answer, do not bluff. I found that out the hard way. One time I started answering a question because I was so nervous that I answered the question and it was incorrect, when really what I should have said is, I'm sorry, but I don't know the answer to that right now. But the minute I get home, I will go and find out, and I will email you immediately. That's what I should have done. But instead, I kind of did a dumb move. So, and said, oh yeah, blah, blah, blah. And it was some statistics and it was completely wrong. And it made me look like dumb. So just say, no, I don't know. So be brief and friendly, identify the issue or budget, educate them, explain your position and why, ask them to support your position, and always thank them for their time. When I say be brief, I'm not kidding. The legislature starts a timer. You get 2 minutes. That's it. Okay, so here's other ways to communicate. And just, just make sure that, like, if you are communicating, like in an email, because they get 50,000 emails, the legislature, like every session, that you put, I'm a voter in your district, and be short and sweet, but use your lived experience, whatever it is, however you relate to that issue, whatever it is. Okay, this is my friend Renee on the left. She passed away several years ago. She was one of my really good friends. But this day we decided our advocacy was going to be to attend the recovery rally. And we weren't up front speaking. We were just there, and Kevin over here, I'm just telling you right here, Kevin, he was the one in 2011 who won. We had this little like award, competition. And so everybody who has a certified peer support specialist certificate hanging on your wall or in your office, he designed that logo, and he was the winner. My good friend Kevin. here are some ways that you can communicate. Like I said, short, simple, succinct. I'm going to show you what a member of our legislature. So something that's very interesting is you can look up and I'm going to show you some of this at the end, but you can look up people's profiles and see like their conflict of interest, see their education. But I do got to tell you something that was really, really hilarious is that I was looking up a member of our Senate, and under their education, I saw it said not a university, not even a high school. It didn't have, not an elementary school. It said self-educated. That's what it said. It's like, so you guys, you'll get the legit response review, but I thought, whoa, okay, self-educated, whatever that means. So, okay, so, and I'm going to show you guys all this. So yeah, writing letters is still a thing. Oh, you guys, I can give you guys this info later. In a sense, there are plenty of reasons to start writing letters now, not least because there's something to be said for slowing down. When I got your letter, the first thing I wanted to do was to text you a picture, but I quickly caught myself. And so Zoom calls and texts are emotionally draining, but exchanging handwritten notes can be sublime. Perhaps it's simply a break from a screen or just another way to mark the ordained passage of time and when the world seems to be on an indefinite hold, like right now. So I found this quote here from a reporter in the New York Times, and I thought, you know what? My mom still writes cards. She always has, always will, and I've always admired that about my mom. Social media. Every member of the legislature usually has their own social media account, or some are for them, like as representatives, and some of their personal accounts, some, but they usually have at least one social media. Letters to the editor. We haven't done, there's been a few of us who have been kind of like go-team members. We'll hear something in the news and we'll be like, okay, go, which means like it's almost like a tag your list, tag your it. Like you've got a list of like 5 members of the media that you want to get a hold of, and you're the one who calls, let's say, KSL and CBS. Another person, you hear something in the media, or you hear something that happened in the community or whatever, you're the one who calls ABC and the Salt Lake Tribune. And it's kind of like a go team, like tag your it. Did you hear about this? Tag your it. Go find your people. Go find your media outlet or whatever. And I also have a way that I teach people how to specifically, I had to learn the hard way how to speak to the media back in 2008. It was really hard for me, but I took this really simple media training and it helped me so much. So I have something like that too. It's pretty simple, but if you're thrown in, I'm just going to show you this. And I don't know, this is the first time Venus Weaver, she ever spoke with the media, but I don't know if you guys aren't hearing the sound. I don't know why, but if you guys can't hear, can you guys hear?
We can hear you, but not the video.
Oh, shoot. Okay. Well, you guys, we're going to have to skip on that. Because I have several things. This is another thing I wanted to show you guys is a lot of newspapers and the media in general are using portals. I'm not a fan of portals, and because I never know, did they get it? Did they not get it? What did they read? Blah, blah, blah. So what I usually do is same with the legislature. There was several years ago, they started using portals instead of their le.utah.gov emails. to reach them. And I just went around and found all their le.utah.gov emails instead of using the portal because I don't like that. So, so just wanted to let you know, I save a ton of numbers in my phone and emails for letters to the editor or op-eds. I also have saved like specific reporters' names and numbers in my phone. So if I see something and they know me from past interviews, I call them first because I know, oh yeah, they'll do a good story on this, right? So anyway, I just thought speaking up is not going to guarantee that you'll be successful, but if you don't, they don't, it's a guarantee you will not be heard if you don't speak up. So bring a friend. Okay, here's the golden rules I was like talking about. And yes, I have a problem with number 2, avoid cynicism, because I'm super sarcastic like all the time. Sometimes people are like, oh, thank God you made me laugh, whatever, you know, like in some serious counsel or whatever. But sometimes like my cynicism can take control, and if I get really mad, pissed off about like the mental health system or something like that. And so there are several golden rules that I have to practice, but when I am speaking in front of committee, I have this under control. So I'd let you know. And these two, whole be discreet thing. Yeah, I'm super number 8. I'm realistic and persistent, but the whole be discreet, I've had to like kind of put like a halt on all my live videos because nobody was like listening to the lived experience. So I started doing all these, you know, live videos on Facebook or whatever, but I actually only do that now if I'm so informed that I would be the best opponent possible. And there's a rule that I was the only one with lived experience who was up at the Capitol for about 5 years. And every year I was one of the only people up there. And so it is often a single voice that become the most effective tool, however you choose to do that. This again is national. Knowing the lingo, what's appropriations, that the budget for the state programs, what's a bill, it's a proposed law. Committees, rules is one of the most powerful committees up on the Hill. They're the ones who decide if your bill is going to be released into the public at all. Standing committee is the one that hears testimony and votes on the bills. The Appropriation Subcommittee, one of the biggest appropriations subcommittee on the Hill that I go to every year at the beginning of the session, is the Social Services Appropriation Subcommittee. It's usually in the House building in room 30 downstairs. The Executive Appropriations, those are the big dudes who decide, okay, here's your money. And then the Interim Committee is like during, usually like for Utahns during the summer is the Interim Committee. This is Representative Red. I always say visit the Capitol, meet with the senator, representative, if possible, set up an appointment, send in a note. I don't know how many of you have been to the legislature, but you can go up to the House and you can turn in a little note. They take the note inside to the House, and then there's a ding dong, and then all these people come out, and just to let you know, you got to be like, there's going to be a bunch of lobbyists waiting outside the House door saying, please vote for my stuff. So you got to have like the strategic move. If those lobbyists move like 1 inch, you put yourself right in front of them. One time I literally crawled through somebody's legs to be able like through the middle of them to get up because the lobbyists had circled around this member of the legislature that I was waiting for. So I didn't crawl through between their legs, but I crawled in between the people. I came up in the middle. It's a good thing I'm a tiny person, but came up in the middle of them all so that I could get my words said, because a bunch of lobbyists, I'm like, no way, I've been here. Oh, Representative Red. So for many years, he and I were on opposite sides. And then he showed up at my graduation and my reception after, and I literally consider him a dear friend now. So as JFK says, let the word go forth from this time and place to friend and foe alike, that the torch has been passed to a new generation of Americans. And I miss him. He used to run, like you can see here, there he was talking to me, and right at this time, I believe, I don't know why, the media always catches me with my eyes are like bulging out of my head or whatever. Maybe my pictures are so fantastic because I have bulging eyes or whatever. Oh, but he literally that day, I said, can I meet with you? And he said, yeah, if I can eat lunch. And I go, yeah, okay, well, if I can suck on my sucker. And I had a sucker. So he was eating lunch. So right after that meeting, I was talking to him with his intern about I said, if you don't change this, we're going to have advocates up here, which he did change. And it was really, really cool to be working with him. So the appropriation process, like I just said, they have, this will explain it. Why can't it be more straightforward? Okay, there's state agencies, then there's departments, and then there's the governor's budget. There's that way of getting appropriations. Then there's the legislature, fiscal analyst, which is the money dude, appropriations, executive appropriations, then the state budget. That's how it goes. This one, you're rolling the appropriation process. Attend agency advisory meetings, like that one that I showed you, that video that you didn't hear the sound, but it's Medical Care Advisory Council, which was at the Department of Health, but the Utah Department of Health and the Department of Human Services are now merging. So who the heck knows how that's going to end up. But I do know a bunch of people who had to reapply for their jobs if they wanted to keep their job. And so some people are not there anymore. The fiscal analyst, like I said, contact your legislatures, contact members of the appropriations committees, testify at a legislative appropriations hearing, contact members of the executive appropriations. So you find a need, recognize it, and you do what you can to create or change a state statute. And that someone could be you. The whole process from idea to law. So there's the preparation of the bill. A bill is prepared by the Office of Legislative Research and General Counsel. And bills can originate either in the House or the Senate. If it's a House bill, it will say HB, and one of the ones I'm going to be talking about is HB 99. If it's in the Senate, it will say SB, and then you'll see the sponsor of the bill will be from the Senate, and then their co-sponsor is usually from the House. But the bill is introduced in the House and referred to the House Rules Committee. So if you know someone in the Rules Committee, and you know a guy who knows a guy who's in the Rules Committee, then they'll make sure that your bill is released. But if you don't know a guy who knows a guy, sometimes your bill may never be released to the floor. But so it's always good to know somebody on the rules. So I'm just going to tell you, in Utah, we could see something that could be a good bill, but the bill receives a fiscal note at the beginning, which estimates the financial effects of the proposed legislation on state and local governments. And that fiscal note could kill the bill before it actually gets to the floor, just by seeing the fiscal note. And that is specifically true, something that I often make sure, like if there's a mental health law, like one that's coming up, they want to lock us up for 72 hours. Well, can I tell you how much is that going to cost? How much is it going to cost the state to lock me up for 48 more hours, which doesn't include weekends and holidays? So say I got locked up in voluntary treatment on Friday. Today's a holiday. I probably wouldn't get out. If they changed the statute, which is currently 24 hours, I wouldn't get out till maybe Wednesday or Thursday. So yeah, how much is that going to cost you? Okay. So a lot of times I use that. So so this is kind of like what I was talking about. It kind of like goes back and forth. If somebody proposes amendment, then they have to vote the amendment out of the committee. Then the committee votes for the new amended version. Then they send it to the Senate, and maybe the Senate doesn't like it, and they make an amendment. Then they have to vote it back out, and it goes back and forth and back and forth. And the last few days, we have a really short legislative session here in Utah, so it's like 45 days, I believe, and it's one of the shortest in the nation. And so the last week of the legislature, all anyone is doing is watching what they are doing. And sometimes all these bills are released last week. So everybody's scrambling, all these advocates, which one am I going to go to, you know? But that's a maneuver that you got to watch for. Okay. So you're rolling the process. Contact the legislator about the bill. Contact the standing committee members, testify. Contact the legislatures before the floor votes, contact the governor, contact whoever you can, but always say I'm a constituent. Testify. You will see, I'm going to show you guys how to sign up to follow certain bills on our le.utah.gov and committees and all of that. So we'll get to that. But like I said, keep it short because they do sometimes only give you, well, every time they give you 2 minutes, and I'm not kidding. In the Appropriations Committee, they have a big timer, and they set a timer. So I've never made copies, but I am going to tell you that I arrive early. When we could shake hands at the state capitol, I shook everyone's hand on the committee, introduced myself for like the 50th time, just so they all know who I am. And then I testify. I sit on the front row. And I text everyone on the committee. And let me just tell you this, they look at their cell phones during committee. Because you will see, I text every one of them individually. And I say, please vote for me, blah, 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 blah. And you'll see people like sitting at the committee table. And right when I click send, they look down at their phones. So yes, they all look. And so I text them all just so they remember, please vote for my bill. Here we go. Back what's happening. Like I said, I'm going to show you. I always wondered why somebody doesn't something about that. Then I realized, oh, duh, I was that somebody. And throughout the year, keep up with current events. I have a Facebook page, a call to action for mental health. I'm just like, speak up and speak out. Anytime I use advocates gone rogue, it usually has to do with something that needs like to be spread around social media or others need to know about. And I will use the hashtag advocates gone rogue. So you could pretty much probably search it and see all the stuff that I have put out there that has the hashtag on all types of social media. This right here is like, why did I put so much on the word educating yourself first? So when it comes to other advocacy groups, at the beginning of the organization, they may do great things and have recovery-based services and provide peer support, yet they may have lost their way throughout the years. So it's good to go back and see what they have used, what they used to do and what they are currently doing to better like for me in the mental health system, because I've worked with several different agencies, and at one time their mission and vision was powerful and strong, but if I was to ally myself with them now, not so much. They just don't have the same reputation that they used to, so I distance myself. So just look at their level of influence and what they're currently involved with. And I love this. Are they agents of change or agents of sames?
Hey, Ginger, I've got to run.
Go ahead.
Loop me in the future, and I sent out a message in chat and send me the bill information and anyone that you think could be helpful. I'm on a weekly call with with the Democrats in the legislature, and I can raise these issues. Got to run. But
thank you, Kale. But HB 99, Representative Jennifer Daly Provost, that's the one.
Is that that's the 72-hour?
Yep, and children's mental health and involuntary commitment.
Okay, so
yep. HB 0099.
Is Jennifer, is JDP pushing the 72-hour extension?
Yep.
What's her argument?
That's what let me just go to that right now. It is, I'm just going to show you guys right now. Here we go. Oh wait, I've got to move this. Sorry guys. There is tons of, see these amended lines, Kel? Right here.
Yeah.
This is all the amendments, and I am telling you that last week, this bill still said 24 hours. Everyone was waiting for Eliason to release a bill because he's been saying it everywhere about being the 72-hour, but so many people pounced on that during, like when they found out that I looked at this bill last week and it still had 24 hours. Today I looked at it and now it says 72. So it's all these amendments at the end, trying to see what line, but especially for children's mental health and civil commitment, it will also apply to individuals who are adults as well. And it's, yeah, I can't, somebody called me right before, but this is the bill. Look at,
Okay.
go towards the end and I'll tell you all of it.
Email me anything else I need to look at. I'll plan to raise it. If I don't do it tomorrow, I'll try and do it one of these Tuesday calls I'm on. But thank you guys for doing what you're doing and look forward to more meetings. I've just got to get on something else right now.
Joe, do it. Thank you, Carol, for being here. I appreciate it.
Look forward to the time.
Okay, ciao.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So anyway, let me just, Kale, I just wanted you guys all to know is, he ran for office, and I helped work on his campaign. He's one of the greatest guys. Like, he wish he would have won, but didn't. Sorry that it's all over the place. Anyway, so, pretty much all the same stuff. This is just kind of like ideas, what like during, once the legislative session ends in the beginning of March, these are some things to do. Find out, thank your legislation or thank your legislators or whatever, and then begin to think in the next year, but give them a break still to be at the end because there's also exhausting. So in June, July, like I said, interim, attend the committees, attend advisory committees, talk to your friends and neighbors and other relationships and stuff like that. August or October, at first I didn't know what an interim committee meant. I didn't know that they actually worked on stuff in the public. So all of those interim committees are public. Just wanted to let you know. That means, well, you can go up and give feedback about a certain piece of legislation, or during the interim, you can find somebody to like help you with legislation that may want to help you sponsor a bill. So like I said, always vote, find out what the next legislation is. And I'm going to tell you this, that I still sometimes walk in or I don't hear from people that I advocate regularly for until like maybe a week before the session starts. And always being promised to be invited to the table. And a lot of times I'm not. So I've created my own table and you guys are all invited. These are some of the like Washington, D.C. offices. All of our national senators and congressmen, the 4 congressmen and our 2 senators, they all have Utah offices and DC offices. So yeah, one of the biggest concerns that peers across the country have had, and the best reason to reach out to national is they call AOT, or assisted outpatient treatment, which is pretty much just say it as it is. It's forced treatment and kind of like a death sentence, if you ask me, because they don't. So I'm just gonna let you know, you can influence policy. You can improve services, you can help increase funding, educate, blah. I left this for the end because I didn't want to overwhelm you, but here you go. This literally is what a bill and how our laws are made. I found this and I went, oh my. I'll leave that at the end, but I really found it really cool. But this is, it looks difficult, but just gonna say the U.S. Constitution, Article 1, Section 8, Congress shall have power to make all laws which shall be necessary and proper. But if they don't hear from us, they'll make their own laws. So, and this, never doubt a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world, and TV is the only thing that ever has. So when I looked back at this quote, I thought, oh my gosh, I used the word committed. So, so I was not like originally, that was not original play on words. This really is from Margaret Mead, but that word to be committed is like, or it wasn't even intended as a pun, but I am going to say this. Some of the most powerful advocates I know have been committed to hospitals, prisons, youth residentials in the past. So just saying, playing words, but not playing words. And if I could find the fin, whatever, like audio, I would play this, but I think it's my PowerPoint setting. So I'll figure it out later. So there we go. And where are you? Let me stop sharing the screen. Okay, so I don't even know how many people are on here, but it looks like not very many. So first of all, let me just ask if anybody has any questions. And I will unmute you if you. If you have, you can feel free because there's not many people on here. So surprising. But nope. I haven't seen the chat. Thanks, Dana, for answering these. Oh, your mic's not working. Okay. All right, you guys. So let me show you this. Okay. We're gonna go. Oh, wait, I gotta share the screen again. Oh, I am screen sharing. What an idiot. All right. Wait, is this it? Or is that it? That's it. Okay. So I'm going to show you right here. What we're going to do is look at in my search section, I'm putting le.utah.gov. So that will take you to the main Utah legislature website. You click on there. You will see, like, you can create an account. You can see up here, this is my Peer Specialist Ginger account right here. And so you'll go on and you can create an account. You'll create a password and all that jazz. And then once you do, you can click on, once you create an account, you can search, well, you can search even without an account, but you can track, look at all the things you can track. So you can track a bill, you can track committees, code, subjects, or other. So usually what I do, and I'm going to do this with you guys, is every year I add, so now that I know that Daily Provo is going to be running a bill, I'm going to track, it will be sent to this right here, Peer Specialist Ginger, is you put right here my tracked bills, and then you put HB, I don't know how they write it. So it's HB 99, there it is right there, Civil Commitment Amendment. So now anything that has to do, oh, and look at this, fiscal note publicly available. Wonder what the fiscal note is. So anyway, but now every single update, any amendment, anything will be sent to my email. And like anytime it's time to testify, anytime they change a couple words, or an amendment. Okay, now let's go to committees. You can select a committee. What I usually follow is, and like I said, I follow this one, Social Services Appropriation Subcommittee. So now I'm gonna get every single email that has to do with that. And I'm gonna probably, Health and Human Services, not the interim. No, executive. So there's like the Executive Appropriations Committee. So everything that's passed out of the subcommittee is then goes to the exec approp. So if you want to say close like that. So now I'm going to add that. But like I said, like even look at this, you can even look up like if you want to watch stuff about children, there's a subject, and here's all the things about children that you could, child welfare, child support, child restraints, like all of this stuff, and you can click on the subject. And yeah, so yep, that's a big one. Okay. Or me, I go to mental health right there, and I add anything that has to do with mental health. So now anything related to mental health, I'll get an email for. I'm also going to show you that if you guys, I don't know if you can still, so trying to think, tell me, Raina, will you text me and see if this plays while I share? This is from a committee. Let's see. Oh, hello. Can you
Can't
guys hear
hear it.
that?
No.
I don't know what is happening with my screen share. It's really odd. I'm really sorry. I don't know why it doesn't like share the sounds, because I went over all of the sound and everything. So not sure. Audio. Let me see you guys. You guys get to look at my, okay. I have no idea, but I wish I could play it for you. Whatever. Anyway, I don't know. Do you guys have any questions for me that I could answer for you? I know that was all fast and a lot of information, but if you have any questions about like following certain committees or anything like that, if you want to let me know. I don't know. No? No one has any questions? Okay. All right. Well, feel free. I'm going to probably provide this again this next coming weekend, and I'm going to work on the sound for the next time. So, just let me, oh, wait, you guys. Original sound off. Original sound on. Now let me see if this works. Tell me. Is that working?
No.
No. Oh, sorry. Okay. All right. Well, that's the end of my story then. And anyway, so call me if you have any questions. Starts tomorrow morning. I hope you guys, if you have any questions about getting on the website or the la.utah.gov and you need my help to help you navigate that site or whatever, just give me a call and I can help you personally. But the rest of the day, I'm going to be like researching a bunch of bills and stuff. I think our main fight is going to be, first of all, that it was kind of dishonest that Eliasson switched over and because he was going around telling everybody he was going to be running the piece of legislation and telling everyone that the crisis council up on the Hill, that they supported it, that the DLC supported it, that the ACLU supported it, and then all of a sudden I see that Jennifer Daly Provo, his colleague, is going to be the one who's writing that piece of legislation, and it is. And another one I'm just going to tell you is redefining. Well, not redefining, just interjecting some word where they want to. It's not even a word. So it's called grave disability. And that is nowhere in national, it's not a word. And they want to expand what a grave disability is. And it's like, okay, so the way we're going to fight any of this stuff is, okay, so if you expand how people are going to be described as disabled and you expand that definition, then is it going to make it good? Then are they all going to be able to get on Social Security now? Because it's almost like a global life sentence. Once you're diagnosed, you should be able to get Medicaid expansion, not just TAM, not just like the little, whatever they throw in there, but I'm talking regular Medicaid expansion. If you've been qualified as disabled and they're going to expand that whole definition to call you gravely disabled, then okay, good. I hope you pay for my hospitals. I hope you pay for my outpatient. I hope you pay for Medicaid. I hope you make it easier for me to get like Social Security. I hope you pay for all of my medications. And if you bring it up that way and which this is going to cost in Salt Lake County alone, Optum Mental Health, not mental health, but Optum is the Medicaid contractor. So they're going to be paying for this. Even though they cannot go up to the Capitol, but they are the ones, and I'm sure that they are not fans of 72-hour holds. But if you guys read that language, it even talks about disciplining a child and like being able to take away the rights of like the parents to be able to. But all I could think of is like, what if these places are so abusive, like many of these youth residential places? What if they're so abusive and because they've been turned over to the local mental health authorities, these children all of a sudden have no rights and neither do the parents. So, and, sometimes obviously that's necessary, but a lot of times some of these parents or whatever who turn their kids over to Utah because we have such a quote wholesome outlook don't know that that youth residentials, a lot of them are abusive, they're cruel, and they're expecting. So some of the fiercest advocates are those who have been there, done that. And I have been there, done that. So, and I'm not going to allow that to happen. I hope to hear from you guys again. And
Can I say something?
yeah, Bree, go.
I was going to say, like, healing is like empowering people. It's not trapping them. It's like more about empowerment and giving them a voice, helping them. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not about like shutting them down and trapping them in.
Yep, Brielle. And that's so true. And what this 72-hour hold is going to do is the exact opposite of what you think, Brielle. Like it's literally what gets me all the time is that because we have a mental illness, people think that or mental health issue or any sort of disability that all of a sudden we have no idea what's good for us. Everybody must make decisions for me. I don't care what age you are. You should always be empowered to use your voice. And I believe in right now with this legislation, if you guys looked at all the amended parts, it's freaky, super scary. So, and just know that it's not going to be just for children. It's going to be for adults too. But for children right now, you know, Brielle, you're a big advocate in that area for coercion and people escaping that type of stuff. And that is definitely something you're going to want to keep track of. So, but thanks you guys for joining me today. And I don't know how many, there's only like 4 of us on here. So, but anyway, so I hope to hear from you guys and go out and rock and roll. Speak your truth, peeps. Thank you for being
Thanks
here.
for doing this, Ginger.
Sure. Okay. Take care, everyone. Bye.
ya.